Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyper Roll with Autarch, and today we are going to look at the Boomstick Brawl. Now, as I mentioned in my 5 builds you should know video, this is one of the more consistent builds I have found, except for the fact that it very rarely wins because you need really specific win conditions. However, it is a highly consistent top 4 finisher. Now, I had planned to go this build by this point because of some of the champs I got. So big gains is looking decent because that will make everyone healthier, but you will quickly notice I'm missing one of my key champs, Kobuko. And I'm actually going to go forward in this one without him, although I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you end up like this with a whole bunch of other bruisers and snipers. Unlike some of the other builds I've shown you, this one tends to be a fast start build. In fact, you're kind of counting on it because you want to win early since it often gets very weak in the end unless you get a lot of luck with the RNG. If all things are equal, I try to keep it at 2 bruisers, 2 snipers when I get into stage 4, and then I generally will go for bruisers first to hold the front line unless I'm getting stronger snipers. You really have to figure out which one is giving you the advantage. Now, normally I would have Kobuko, who I would be stacking all of my tank items onto, but without him in this case, I'm just going to choose my strongest bruiser, which is Riven here. So she is going to get all the tank items for now. We can always swap her out later. I would have liked to have had an additional 2-star sniper here, but we weren't able to get Senna or the additional Kog'Maw that we would have needed, so we just have a 1-star Aphelios in the corner. That is not going to be quite enough damage, although you can see Riven does a good job of holding things off for a while, but there's just not enough power coming out to finish that off. We head into the second set of augments, and I'm eyeing Silver Veil immediately because the additional attack speed and immunity to crowd control, it's pretty good. It's only the first crowd control, but you get the idea. It's going to allow you to keep doing things. And while my preference is to build frontline first, if I'm getting 2-star snipers, they will go in before the frontline, unless I have 2-star frontliners. Also, when it comes to Senna, she's going to give attack damage to people who are next to her. But there's a little catch here. You don't know for sure which corner they're going to be in or if they're going to be spread out. So you want to have snipers in both corners. So even though Senna's ult is going to give attack damage to her neighbor, it's good to have snipers on both sides so you can do maximum damage to their carries. And as absolutely tempting as a spatula is, it has no value in this build unless you get another spatula. However, you do want lots of rage blades if you can get them, so pick up needlessly large rods when you can. And this is a great example of why I split my snipers up. You're going to notice that they're going to get a little bit ahead of me in that they break through my front line. But after Kobuko goes down, they're on the right side, which allows Ashe to be doing more damage because snipers do more damage from a distance, and because everyone's split, they can't focus us down and we win that match. It is now time to choose our Radiant item, and we're really just going to be working on Ashe here so we can go ahead and get Infinity Edge. Ultimately, your only real chance at winning in this is to end up with a really strong Ashe. Without her, you're placing somewhere between 2 and 4. Healing orbs kind of looks obvious here, but we just check everything else out just in case. These are excellent items for Ashe. You want the Rage Blade so you can speed her up, Infinity Edge so she can crit, and then Last Whisper so she can shred armor. It's just a good combination. And if you look overall at what's going on, we're not having much luck role or item-wise. Our Ashe is well itemized, but no one else is, except for our Riven, but we haven't gotten the high-end bruisers yet. We just are picking up Tom Kench. We don't have Galio, so it's amazing we're holding on as well as we are. Luckily, our Radiant item came with a magnetic remover, so once we get Galio, who is your strongest bruiser, I'm just going to move all of the key items over to him. We also managed to 2-star the Ashe, and then it's just a matter of how we want to finish out this build. We don't have a Sunfire cape up front. We can put that on Tahm Kench. And then we can hold our other items until this round is over, because we'll be getting an item choice at the beginning of the next round, and then figure out who's going to get the Thieves' Gloves and who's going to get the Hand of Justice. Since Caitlyn is up at gold 3 stars, I think about getting the Warmogs, but decide to go with Rage Blade on Caitlyn and then give her the Hand of Justice so she can be doing more damage. Again, there is an advantage to having people on either side of Senna since her ult does give attack damage, but I still like splitting up the snipers so that they can do the most damage to the opposing team. And the game somewhat becomes whose front line is going to break first. The Bruisers are very, very strong, surprisingly strong, and I find them much stronger than the Wardens or the Behemoths and the other opportunities out there to get a tanky front line. Time for an item choice, and I am just going to stack Caitlyn with a Death Blade. Again, since she's up at gold 3 stars, I'm going to try to use that for all I can. And because this build does not have a 5 cost anywhere involved, this is usually the place in the game where things start to go wrong, if you will, because other teams have legendary champs that can get in and do a lot of damage, and while you've likely sealed yourself a top 4, you're not going to be aiming for the win unless you get lucky. The Steadfast Heart for Tahm Kench is tempting, but at this point and this late in the game, I'd rather just get 2 items, even if they're going to be random, and then put them on someone strong. In this case, once we get Sylas up to 2 stars, we can temporarily pull out Rek'Sai and put Sylas in front with the Thieves' Gloves. And we are actually in pretty decent shape here. We're 1 Ashe away from a gold 3-star Ashe. We're guaranteed to make it to 10, so we'll be able to get our 6th Brawler in for the full bonus. And winning this will pretty much guarantee us a trip to the top 4. We have our final 2 item choices of the game, and these are all going to be backline items, as there's nothing here that can work on the front line, so it's just a matter of what's the best for Senna, because she's the only one missing items at this point. We're really looking for that final Ashe to finish this out, because again, as I mentioned before, without the gold 3-star Ashe that we just got, this is almost impossible to win. However, with Ashe, it becomes winnable. Not guaranteed, but winnable. And we are put to the test immediately as we meet a gold 3-star Syndra, also a 4 cost. Luckily, the Bruisers are very, very tanky, and Ashe with those items, very, very strong. We're able to knock them out. And say it with me now, we are now into the top 4. First up is an Umbral team, which I rarely see get into the top 4, but in this case they have an emblem that they put on a Wukong, and I think that helped them out a ton. However, Ashe is just going to be able to eat their entire backline and finish them off. And we end up in the 1v1 against what I would consider a mishmash team, as it's got a little Mythic, a little Fortune, a little bit of everything, a 3-star Bard, 3-star Teemo, but it's going to be really hard when Ashe can level a team with her ult, and you can see them just go down one at a time as she clears them out, leads the damage charts, and it's GG for everyone. Boomstick Brawl is very, very consistent for climbing, but you're not likely to get first unless you have a friend at Riot give you that 3-star Ashe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely, absolutely awesome day.